Reigen isn't anything special. He has zero powers, he isn't very strong, and he takes advantage of people. But saying he's a bad master or even a bad friend is just unfair. I'm not saying he's the best master, but who really is? Even the most renowned masters have something wrong with them. Like Jiraiya. Like on the occasion, he would just abandon Naruto for some women. In a way, Jiraiya and Reigen are similar. Jiraiya would abandon Naruto physically, and Reigen abandons Mob mentally at times. I say at times because Jiraiya and Reigen both grew from this. They learned to not do that. Mostly Jiraiya, because Reigen did do it again in Season 3. He doesn't sound like someone you should call your friend, let alone your master. But that is where you'd be wrong. Not only is Reigen a good master, he's an even better friend. He always tends to rub off a lot of his morals onto Mob. An example of that is the don't hurt people with your psychic's power rule.
Depending on how we choose to use them, they can also be deadly weapons. They're just the same as knives.
This rule shows how much Mob and Reigen have in common. Mob wouldn't hurt people with his powers either way, but the fact that Reigen also feels that way is what really impresses me. I'm sure Mob sees it as well. I think if Reigen had Mob's powers at his disposal at all times, he would use them in similar ways as Mob. My favorite moment was whenever he was scolding the 7th Division, because it kind of felt like he was talking to himself in a way. Like maybe he's trying to convince himself that Espers are just human, when in reality they kinda aren't. Reigen calls the other Espers hogs in the population. Maybe he thinks he's a hog in the population compared to people like Mob. So how does this make him a good master? It doesn't, but he unintentionally puts Mob in these situations where he has to grow as a person and grow as an Esper. Whether it's facing against spirits or facing against his own personality or his own, emotions inside of him. And that stuff wouldn't be able to be done if it wasn't for Reigen. He doesn't teach Mob Esper powers or give him any training, but he teaches him control and knowledge, which you can argue is more helpful and more necessary.
Did you know?
Reigen's comedy is pure joy. The comedy he brings to the show is unique. He has these special moves where he screams out, self-defense rush and starts beating someone down. I made a poll asking you guys who would you keep out of Reigen, Dimple, Hanazawa, and Ritsu, and Reigen won overwhelmingly. So we know what the best side character is. Apple actually determined who I'd make a video out of, so keep an eye on those polls.
Did you know?
People tend to think that Reigen is dumb or incapable, but what they don't seem to understand is the whole world is full of Espers and magical people. If we're looking at it in a human's point of view, Reigen is quite intelligent and strong even. He's sure to bringing down top Espers like Shinazaki. I'm sorry for butchering that. I made a video about him, check that out if you want to see. We see Reigen scamming people for a living, and how frequently he does it, it's pretty damn impressive. He even tricks these really strong people. If we're making a custom character, Reigen used all his stats on deception, which in my opinion makes him smart.
Did you know?
Reigen is an interesting character. He's a master that's incapable, but it works with this anime. In most cases, it wouldn't work. The great thing about Mob's side characters, they're all very important to the success of Mob. They make up for what Mob lacks in or doesn't show us, like his emotions. It's like making a cake. You need all the ingredients. You can't miss out on one. Like and sub, and watch this video if you want to see the best villain in Mob.